Do you find it hard to fit in? Does it feel like you don't belong? That you need to be a certain way in order to be accepted by others? This is the thing, we put on a mask or a persona because we feel that people won't like us for being who we truly are. But the world is already full of clones. It's time to be your weird and wonderful self and show the world your authenticity. My name is Angela Cleary. I'm a feminine empowerment coach. I specialise in healing after narcissistic abuse, and I also offer twin flame and spiritual guidance. This is it. We feel like if we're truly ourselves, that people won't like us, that people won't accept us. We're afraid that our differences make us weird or wrong. But I love being weird. That word weird, we're supposed to be different, guys. We really are. You know what I mean? Why do we want to be like everyone else? Everyone else looks the same, does the same, walks off the same cliff with all the other sheep. Why do you want to be like them? You know, and when we block ourselves from our true authenticity to try and be something that we're not, this will actually create more of a block. So if you're trying to put on a certain mask or be a certain way in order to be accepted by the people around you, they're never going to see your true self. And you know, people are going to judge you no matter what, especially if you've got differences. But it's your differences that make you unique. Your differences are what make you special. And showing the world that side of you shows your authenticity, but it allows other people to see that it's okay to be authentic as well. You know, we're in this society of we're afraid to step outside the box, afraid to do anything differently. We've been taught if you do it wrong or if you do it differently, you're doing it wrong. But this is fucking bullshit. And, you know, I'm sick of seeing the same thing walking down the street over and over again. And, you know, it's so funny. Like, you know, I've lived in different towns and you will actually see the same kind of people in these towns. And I'm just like, it's like, you know, it's like literally, you know, it's like they're made in this little box and all these people are just handpicked and like cloned and put in different villages. And it's like, I'm so sick of seeing the same shit different day, man. You know what I mean? I love to see something unique and authentic. But we're continuously comparing ourselves to others. We're like, why are they further along than I am? Why are they getting this and I'm not? Why is this happening for them and not for me? And, you know, we do compare. And comparison, it makes us into something we're not. Because we're constantly striving to be something that's false, and that's what it is. And you know, I believe authenticity is the most beautiful thing we can actually show, and no matter how weird or different you are. And you know, people think weird or different is a bad thing. It's not. I own my weirdness. I let my freak flag fly, and I love being different. I do not want to be the same as everyone else. It's fucking boring, you know. But like, we actually end up slowing ourselves down and creating more blocks because we're trying to be something that we're not. And this is the thing with anything in our lives. If we're doing something out of alignment, whether that's a career or relationship or otherwise, the shit's going to hit the fan at some stage. So if you're living inauthentically and trying to be something you're not, that's just not going to work. You know, things will come crashing down or things will remain stagnant in your life. You know, nothing will move forward until you show your true colors. It's not even that. It's like accepting who you are. Like, oftentimes we don't even accept and love ourselves because we feel we have to be a certain way. And this is where the shadow side comes in. You know what I mean? When we suppress parts of ourselves, this can lead to volatility, really, because, you know, if we're hiding and suppressing who we truly are, it can come out in disruption or in unhealthy behaviors or ways. You know, like I've likened the shadow to a child. If a child is looking for attention and you don't give it attention, it's going to give a tantrum. And that's it. Your shadow side, if you don't play with it or accept it, that is going to go into this crazy ass fucking negativity. And I see this with an unbalanced shadow. I've done this myself. You know, we have a light and a dark. We have to have a light and a dark. We can't have one without the other. But your dark isn't that dark. Actually, that's where all the colour is. You know what I mean? You know, it's not a dark side. It's just that we hide parts of ourselves in the dark. And, you know, if we suppress parts of ourselves, it's going to lead to this kind of dis-ease or imbalance within us. You know what I mean? But accepting both sides of yourself, accepting your true authenticity, your true self, showing that to the world, that can lead to more balance in your life. But how do we do that? We stop comparing ourselves to others. That's number one. Because your life is not like anyone else's. Your life is unique to you. Your journey is unique to you. Now, you might be going down the same career path as somebody, and you'll be comparing why their path looks different, why they're more ahead than you are. But the thing is, there is no timeline. You're not late. You're not delayed. Everything is in perfect alignment for you. But until you accept and love yourself, how is anyone else going to accept and love you? And this is so important. You know what I mean? We question why we're not accepted by others. We question why we feel so out of place. We question why we don't attract healthy love into our lives. But are you in a loving and accepting energy of yourself? Do you accept yourself for everything that you are? Do you accept your light and your dark? Do you accept your flaws and your perfections? You know, and your imperfections, because we all have the good and the bad. We're all perfectly imperfect. You know what I mean? But we were all unique. You know, the way I like to see it is, you know, not only did they break the mold when they created me, they set fire to it and doused it in petrol, set fire to it, and it goes, what have we done? Do you know what I mean? Because you cannot get somebody like you. You're unique in your own self, and you don't want it to be cloned. Or do you really want to look like everyone else and be like everyone else and do everything like everyone else? Like, there's so many people in this world, and we've been all forced to be in competition with each other. Told we have to fight against each other to get to the top. But the only way, truly, I think, to get to the top is by being real. And that's a fact. There's not enough realness in this world. There really isn't. You know, people are suppressing themselves, suppressing their authenticity because they have this persona. And this is the thing. From day one, we put on a persona. You know what I mean? We put on this mask in order to try and be accepted and fit into this world. And it's only in shedding that mask that we can really truly accept ourselves and then feel accepted by the world. Because the right people are going to accept you. The wrong ones aren't going to accept you whether you do it their way or not. That's a fact. The wrong people are going to judge you whether you're doing it right or wrong. And as far as I'm concerned, there is no right and wrong. There only is truth. There's only realness. There's only authenticity. And that's a fact. You know, how can you expect anyone to really, truly love you if you're not really, truly yourself? If you keep doing things the way everyone else does them. You know, I love the word unconventional and eccentric. That's how I'll describe myself. I do not go down the conventional path. I do not conform because it's fucking boring, but it's also toxic. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much freedom in being truly yourself. And you know, I love that because you can't get caught in a lie. Because you're not lying. You know what I mean? If you spend your life literally lying about who you are, trying to be something you're not, it's going to slip up. And people are going to see discrepancies. People are going to see dishonesty. You know, and that's not a good look either. Do you know what I mean? So how are you going to be accepted if you're literally being perceived as a dishonest person? Because if you're not true to yourself, you are being dishonest. Not just with other people, but with yourself. You know, and I think when we come to full acceptance of who we are and stop judging ourselves, you know, everything happens for a reason. Wherever you are in your life right now or wherever you are in your journey, it's where you're supposed to be. Now, if it's a shitty situation, you have the power to change yourself from that. But it's also, you have the power to learn from it as well. So any place, you know, we're constantly... We're free of fear and being judged by others, but we're constantly judging ourselves for not being at a certain place or a certain, you know, a certain goal fulfilled, or we feel like we're delayed and it's like we're comparing to the next person. It's like, oh, the grass is greener over there. The grass is not greener over there. The grass is greener where you water it, but the grass is greener where you're real. That's the way I see it. You know what I mean? And if you continue to judge yourself, you're going to create blocks and you're going to slow yourself down. You know, if you're constantly reprimanding yourself for not being in the place you thought you'd be, or, you know, and it's not even that. You know what I mean? The only reason we think we should be further along is because of comparison, because we're comparing ourselves to others, because our path looks different. But your path is supposed to look different, especially if you're on this path of awakening and, you know, escaping the matrix and truth seeking. This is, you're supposed to veer off the path that's leading you off the cliff. That's effectively what you have to do. And I know it's an isolating path at times, but why are we constantly worrying and stressing over how the sheep judge us? You know what I mean? These people are conditioned in this zombie mindset. Why does their opinion need to matter in your life? It doesn't. And no one's opinion should matter except your own. But at the end of the day, the right people will accept you for who you are. So if you want to be weird and different, and if you want to be weird, no, we're just naturally weird. If you want to show your weirdness or want to be yourself, just do it. You know what I mean? And like a lot of, like for a long time, I suppressed who I was. And that was because I was in toxic relationships. The 2 relationships I was in my 20s. I lost my personality effectively. Narcissistic abuse will do that to you. And I'm a really quirky, really weird, really eccentric, really unique unicorn. So you know what I mean? To have my personality literally robbed from me when I was in my 20s, I became like I was as a child. Really quiet, really subdued, wouldn't say boo to a monkey, literally kind of going, speak when you're spoken to, because I was told to shut the fuck up. I was told my opinion didn't matter. I was told, quieten down, you're too embarrassing. You know what I mean? And this is why we suppress ourselves, because we're like, oh my God, I don't want to embarrass anyone. I want to embarrass everyone. I do. I'm the person who's going to be dancing around the street, you know what I mean, sober, because I don't drink, in the middle of the daytime. And I get people looking at me, and I'm going to just, I don't even think it's embarrassing. I just think it's being free. Let's be free. Let people look. Let people look and see that it's okay to be different. Because you know what? When we show our true selves, people get to see that if you step outside the box, you're not going to fucking die. Do you know what I mean? We've been led to believe if we do things differently, we're going to fucking die. We're not. We're literally allowed to do things differently. We're allowed to go off the beaten track. And it's so, just think of an analogy in my head, like, when we go off the beaten track, you find more adventure. You know what I mean? I remember I was walking in the forest there this year, one of the years. And I walk this forest every week, like more than once a week. And I went all the way around the back of it. And I ended up around the right back of it. I ended up out on the road I can't remember, it was about 3 miles away from where my car was. And I was just like, oh shit. And I could have went back and tried to get my way back the other way. And I said, no, I'm going to go this way. I'm going to go the different route. And I ended up walking along a river. I got to see more scenery, and it was just more beautiful. And I just believe that any kind of a different track to the normal track is always going to be more beautiful. So we need to embrace that side of ourselves. Embrace the side of ourselves that is different, because it's not boring. That's the main objective here. It's not fucking boring. Oh my God, do you really, really want to be like everyone else? And if you continue to try and be like everyone else and try and compare yourself to everyone else, you're just going to slow yourself down. You know what I mean? We have to be in alignment with our true selves. So that can be external with your job and your relationships, yes, but it starts internally. It starts with you being truly authentic in your own skin. It starts with you truly accepting who you are for you and accepting where you're at on your journey. Your journey is unique to you. Your path is going to look different. It is. And if it doesn't look different, then change it. Because if it looks the same, get off that track. You do not want to be there anymore. You want to be on your track, your path, your journey, and accept it. Surrender to it. You are you, and you're unique because you are you. And the way we're going to strive in this world is by being real and authentic. I'm so sick of seeing the same shit over and over and over again. We want authenticity. We want differences. We want weird. Let that freak flag fly. Be you. Be real. And accept yourself and love yourself for who you are. Because you are beautiful the way you are. And that is a fact. All your differences make you more beautiful. So be proud of who you are. Be proud of where you're going. Accept that your journey is unique to you and you are exactly where you're supposed to be. And love that about yourself. Just be unapologetically you and accept yourself for who you are. So thank you so much for listening today, and I really hope this resonates. If it does, please like and share, and please subscribe to my channel so I can reach as many people as possible. And if you would like help on your journey, please book me for a free discovery call today, and I'd love nothing more than to help on your path. Also, I'm hosting a free webinar on Friday the 12th of September at 6 p.m. Ireland UK time. I'll be speaking on inner child healing, which is a very big part of our growth journey. Also, I have a new channel called Aligning with Angie, where I'll be sharing a guided meditation every week. The information for that is in the description box, and if you want information on the webinar, just comment below.